Wise Wednesdays started on April 1st with a humble episode on forgiveness. Between then and now, we've had heart-led conversations on happiness, stress management, relationships, resilience, public speaking, respecting boundaries, self-discovery, mindset, just being, listening, reclaiming your life, intuition, and even food. I would like to thank all my listeners and the guests who gave me their time and trust. It is because of you that we kept going. It is because of you that we kept growing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much. Welcome to episode 99 of Wise Wednesdays with RK. 99, man, that looks like a good number. And I thought we've got twins over there, so why not today have two people on board? Some amazing souls on board, sisters, truly, and sisters as sisters, of course, and also sisters who think alike, who work together, who are life enthusiasts, authors, seekers, and they have worked in the corporate world. Palak has been a freelance writer, journalist, and has had articles published in UAE's leading print media. She's an artist and a Reiki master. Pooja wears very many hats. She, besides having worked in the corporate world, she has been an Access Consciousness Facilitator and has given multiple talks on Access Consciousness in the UAE. And they have this amazing book. Their very first book is Life as We Know It. It was published in 2019. Takes me back to a conversation I had with Palak. And talking about Palak, she also happens to be the first few people with who I began my writing journey, which is why I said my life's coming a full circle for me in this conversation. I could go on forever, but you're not here to listen to me, are you? You're here to listen to the amazing Palak and Pooja. So without further ado, I bring to you Palak and Pooja.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Gosh, this is
Thank
going to be
you
so
so
much
much for
fun.
having us.
Thank you for
Thank you
saying
so much,
yes.
Raquel. Great.
The honor is all mine, and I'm so grateful to have this conversation with you because your first book left me wanting more, and I'm so happy to know that the second one is just in the pipeline and it's so beautifully coming together. And when you selected to speak on You Are a Masterpiece, I was like, they couldn't have picked a better title because that's really what their work is. So thank you for being you.
Sweet.
Thank
So
you. Thank
sweet.
you so much for having us.
Lovely. So let's take turns in having this this format is new to me. Having three people on the show together, this is going to be fun. Tell me, hi, Vidya's watching us. Hi, Vidya. Vidya says hi, Rooks. Hi, Palak and Pooja. Thank you for joining
Hi,
us, Vidya.
Vidya.
And where would you like to start this conversation? From being a masterpiece or talking about yourself?
Well,
Anything,
let's
anywhere.
let's start talking about being a masterpiece, and then we can take it
Sure.
forward to ourselves.
But that was a trick question because whether we speak about being a masterpiece or about being you yourself, it's one and the same, isn't it?
I'm in the same.
Actually, isn't it? Very right. Well said. Well
Thanks.
said. True.
So, so tell me, Pooja, what does it mean to you to be a masterpiece?
Okay, let me put the question off to you. What do you think it is?
For me, being a masterpiece is where every day you're working on yourself. Because I think a masterpiece never really is completed. It's like, you work on it for the day and then you go to sleep and you wake up and then you take a look at it and say, maybe a stroke here, maybe a dab there, and then you improve every single day. For me, that's what a masterpiece is.
So beautifully put, Pooja.
Okay,
What a beautiful angle.
that's really, yeah. Okay, let me ask you another question. Rukia, is there any other Rukia existing in this earth?
Yeah.
This combination that Rukia is there anybody like you
The
created?
better not be.
And what's the population of this
Uh,
Around
earth?
la-
60
existing in
billion,
this earth?
billion, 7 billion, 8 billion. I don't
7
know.
billion.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
And there's only one Rukia? Only
true
one.
that. Only one.
This
Yes,
combination of the soul and this body, this perception that you have, the vision that you have, only Rukia has it, right?
right.
And there's only one Rukia, right? Among 7 billion people, there's only one combination called Rukia. So are you not a masterpiece?
Hmm. I
You're
am.
unique.
Is there any, even if you had a twin, would she be like you?
No, not at all.
No.
Yep.
And whenever Rukia decides to leave this earth, will there be a gap, a lack of Rukia?
True.
And
True.
True.
Yes.
So aren't you a masterpiece?
Yes. Absolutely.
And imagine 7 billion population in this earth.
Hmm.
Each one of them have their own characteristics, their own traits, their own combination, whatever that they are. um, they all have more or less the same experiences or different experiences, but they have their own vision, their own perception, their own way of looking at things. Yeah.
True. True.
And each and every individual is different,
Hmm.
yet similar. So aren't
Yep.
each and every existence in this earth a masterpiece?
Surely is.
Yeah. And who's
Yes.
created them? Yeah,
Hmm.
Palak, go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Exactly that. That looking at all the living species or existence, life forms on Earth, we all agree that the human species is the most. Look at the capabilities and capacities that we have. We can think, we can create the things that we can do with our intelligence. Can the animals and the birds do? No. So we know we've got certain capabilities and capacities which are far ahead than the other species on Earth. Masterpiece. What makes us a masterpiece? The skill set and the uniqueness. So all those capabilities we have. Look at what we were during the caveman days when we used to paint on the caves, and look at what we are, where we are now with the Burj Khalifa, the internet, the future museum of Dubai. Yeah,
True.
look at the capacity and capabilities of man from there to now. If you would have brought the caveman, that the man who lived in the caveman days now, he would be in a different dimension and a different planet. He wouldn't recognize where he was. So this is because of man's awareness, his capabilities and capacities, that where he's reached today. And who can create such a masterpiece? Who's created us? That creator has to be a mastermind, has to be a, I don't know what you call it, super intelligence. You can give it different names. Masterminds create masterpieces, don't they? A masterpiece has to be created by a mastermind. So hence we
True.
say you are a masterpiece. So live like one, walk like one, talk like one. But what we do is basically what we're trying to say is value yourself. Know where we have reached. Look at the potential of what we all together have created. But then what happens in our life and the challenges that we face, the fears and the doubts, everything creep up, and we lose that confidence in ourselves, isn't it?
Hmm.
So I guess
Hmm.
that's what the whole discussion today is about, and that's how we relate. No, that's how we are a masterpiece, actually, created by the mastermind.
True that. Uh, and what I say is, we're all special, and that's what makes us the same.
Same yet unique. Each one
Yet,
is unique.
yet unique. Yeah.
Rare and
So
unique.
I'll hmm,
Well, what are your
see,
views on it, Rukia? What do
Pooja.
you think about this?
I do agree. I do agree that we should take ownership of who we are. A lot of times we kind of are so busy wanting to fit in a box, wanting to fit into the way people expect for us to be, that we miss out on the true essence of ourselves, you know. And
Well
then,
said.
thank you.
Well said.
Thank you. And then we wonder why something feels like it's missing. We don't know what's going on. So I think the more you discover and go inwards and figure out who you are, the easier and more beautiful that journey to discovering what else is possible then unfolds.
Yes.
Perfect.
But we
Well,
keep on changing, no? Our
yep.
experiences, whatever we go
Hmm.
through, we try to discover who we are. Yet we keep on changing every second and every minute. Yeah. Whenever
Hmm.
we learn something new, whenever we come across a situation or an obstacle, and then we are able to actually win over it or find a solution for it, right? We like go from grade 1 to grade 2 then, yeah.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we actually open up to and evolve. We open up and evolve, so we do change ourselves too. So then we have to keep
Correct.
on looking inwards on daily basis to see who are we now,
True.
where have we
So
reached
as
now.
and Pooja, as you say that grade one to grade two and evolving and learning. So you both as have also evolved, like from the corporate space to the creative space. Tell us a little bit about that evolution and how was that for you?
For me,
Hmm.
uh, yes, once I left the corporate world, um, I actually will have to say I kind of got a sense of freedom. Freedom, why? That now I didn't have to live my life in one route, right?
Hmm.
I could, I had the privilege and freedom to try new things, to try different paths. Like, for
Hmm.
example, I went to Mosaic, I became a Mosaic artist, then went to Access Consciousness. I actually had the freedom to work on myself, to
Hmm.
create something for me, to learn. And as I learned, I could even teach, right? I could teach to anyone, like teach my kids, teach any friend of mine who's talking to me, and learn simultaneously. I could find my, like you said, I went inside and I could actually find my real capacities and my real capabilities. And oh my God, I can even do this. Oh, I didn't
Hmm.
know I had this possibility too to create. Oh, I can try even this. And I could do that only after I had to, after I left the corporate world.
Hmm.
So this is how, yeah. I didn't even know that I had a writer hidden in me. I thought Palak was always the writer, right? And
Love
I
that.
was always dreaming for her to write a book. And
Hmm.
I just got merged into her and mingled with her. And then that's it. We
It's
created a book
beautiful.
and I'm creating
It's
more.
beautiful. It's beautiful. And on that note, Palak. So, so for those of you who might have missed the introduction, I said Palak is one of those people with who I started my writing journey too. Dubai Ladies Writing Group. I had my children at the time were really small, and we would go for these weekly meetups, and that's where I first met Palak, and this was in the year 2000, 22 years ago. And it's
Oh my
beautiful, isn't
God.
it?
It is.
Another, it is beautiful, isn't it, Palak? So you at the time were working with an airlines, yes,
Yeah.
and again
Started.
you've yes you've transitioned. So how was the transition for you?
You mean from writing to the corporate world,
Yes,
or
from the corporate world to where you are right now.
ah, corporate world to where I am right now? I think was beautiful because that was one world. It's like a different experience. Very grateful. It was a beautiful experience there, and I think I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to have another. Otherwise, I would have been for the rest of my life in the corporate world. But because of certain personal reasons, health of
Yes.
loved ones, um, I stopped working in the corporate world, and yeah, this I got an opportunity to experience another aspect of life, which is beautiful. I'm so grateful because it gave me time, Rukia. I got time to work on um, something that I loved doing, which was writing. And I think Pooja was after me always write a book. So I was like, oh, I don't know what to write. And then somehow she started getting this beautiful flow of words, which finally has become this book that it is that is
I love
today.
that book.
It just happened. And like we were talking the other day, Rukia, things just apne aap hi ho jata hai, right? If they're meant to be, it just happens
It just
sometimes.
happens.
Absolutely. And
We
this
just don't
conversation is that perfect example of when it's meant to be, it just comes together. So so grateful for the conversation, and as you said, transitioning, getting to know. The reason I asked both of you that question is because sometimes we get so used to the comfort zone or being a particular person in life that we feel there's nothing else beyond that. So whether you are being a mom, or whether you are being a full-time employee, or whether you're being uh, a doctor or whatever, you feel like that's just me, and you don't venture out because it's the unknown. Maybe your beautiful moment of discovery is in the unknown. So here are two beautiful examples of people who have ventured out and discovered and allowed themselves to be uncomfortable, and then made so many people comfortable with their words and their writing. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Rukia. In fact, I guess that's what life is all about, right? An opportunity to experience everything, because we all are living in our own world. Each one of us are living in our own world, and we think bas wohi hai, the way it is, because all our conditioning and our bringing up and what we are taught in school and our perspective is formed like that about life. But it's only when
Correct.
we expose ourselves to different kind of experiences is when you realize, oh my God, there's more to life than just what you were living. So
Mm.
it's a blessing, I think. Yeah.
You have
And
beautiful
Rukia, the
sunflowers.
future.
Oops. Sorry. Go for it,
No, go ahead.
Pooja.
And
No, no,
Rukia, the future
please.
is always unknown, na? We don't know what's
Hmm.
going to happen the very next second. We don't know what's going to happen. It is an unknown space, yeah. Every second forward is an unknown space. So
That's
no
true.
matter whether we like it or not, we are moving forward to an unknown space,
Hmm.
right? So why not take risks? Why not try something new?
Hmm.
And let's see, because we don't know ourselves also so well. We are just discovering ourselves. We are just figuring ourselves out. That's what life is all about.
Hmm.
We don't even know we can handle this turmoil, or we'll be able to handle this situation, or oh my God, I was so good at this. I wouldn't, you won't know unless you experience it, right?
Yeah.
So
What do
venturing out to
you
the,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Sorry, sorry.
what do no, I think what I wanted to ask is, what do you have to say to those people who want control over everything? Like they get edgy when they can't, when something uncertain comes to them. What do you thought? I mean, what would you like to share with them, Pooja?
To make them realize that every second is unknown. Once you realize that that edginess and that desire to control everything will eventually leave, no? Because let's just go back to what I said 2 seconds back. It's gone. Does it exist? No. Me clapping, it's gone. It'll never come back,
Hmm.
ever. That very second is gone. What's going to happen, what I'm going to say after 5 seconds, no one knows. I also don't know. I can imagine it, perceive it, but actually what happens, we don't know. So once you realize that, understand that, life will become easy. It'll be easy for them. It is not, I can understand that, especially a mother, na, she has to control
Hmm.
everything. Yeah, with the kids and the house and work, she has to. She feels there's no other way, right? She has to manage, discipline, parent, both the parents now, even the fathers have to bring up their children in a certain way in this belief system. That too is fine. But once you realize that whatever's going to happen in future is unknown, we'll just try our best to do whatever we can, and then let go. Just let go.
Hmm.
Maybe things will get better for them, yeah? And look for tools, na? How to flow forward, how to move forward, right?
I like
Because
that.
no matter what they do, it's a battle they can't win. It is an unknown battlefield out there.
Hmm.
Every second is. Na?
Too bad. But like, any thoughts?
I'm just thinking, I hope I've got you right. So when you're talking about somebody who wants to feel comfortable in the control that they have, but there's only so much that you can control. Yes, controlling, you do it so that you get a comfort level, in
Hmm.
no
Hmm.
surprises, whatever. But the fact is, like Pooja says, of course, every pulse is new, every moment is new. Anyway, nothing is the same. You can control certain things. You can't control the outcomes. You can't control what's happening around you. To control to आप किसी को you can't do any. I mean, you can't control much, can you? You can. There's only limited thing that you can control. So I guess it's just a thought process that we think, I have to control and keep all this, otherwise, it's going to I'm going to be uncomfortable, or something will happen which I won't be happy with the outcome or something. If I'm in the same, is that what you were talking about? Am I on the right track? Um,
Yes.
so I guess that person has to understand you cannot control. Um, it's just an assumption or perception that I'm controlling things. But can you really control what your child thinks? You've grown your child up in a controlled environment from zero to what he was. But once he becomes a teenager, even as a child, he doesn't listen to you. He wants to touch the things that you don't. You tell no, 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 don't touch, but he will do it. What can you control? How much can you control? It's just in the mind, I
Mhm.
think.
True that. And as you say, mind, we have a lovely question that has come in, and I'm opening it up to both of you. You can decide. Anybody can share. So, what is your thoughts? What is your thought about anxiety we face about the unknown? How do we combat that? Very in aligned with what we just said, but is
Should you
anything
go first or
specific?
me?
You will go for it.
Thanks for your question, Beena. So, how do we overcome anxiety? How do we overcome fear, anxiety, obstacles? Each one of us have anxiety, right? There is not one individual who's not faced something called anxiety, fear, and obstacle. Now, according to me, they are a contribution to us. Anxiety, fear, all these obstacles are actually a contribution to us to move ahead, to stop, think, and go, okay, I'm feeling this now. I'm uncomfortable. How do I make myself comfortable now? We start moving forward and start looking for solutions, start looking for the hunt to make ourselves feel comfortable starts once you experience something called anxiety, once you experience something called fear. We have to understand this is a part of our life. It's our friend, it's our buddy. We have to move forward with it. We have to, yeah, move ahead with it. But it encourages us to start looking for solutions. And once you look for solutions, once you get the tool to overcome anxiety, fear, or any obstacles for that matter, what a victory. How do you feel? Wow, I've overcome this. The search begins, the hunt begins, and then you evolve further, right? So you have to look for tools. You have to find ways to overcome your anxiety.
I like how you called
You,
it a buddy.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is Go
I
ahead,
want to
Palak.
say,
Yes, Palak,
I want to
please.
ask Rukia, because Rukia, you have done amazing TED Talks. You have stood there on the stage in women's forums. You've given your talks and speeches. Hats off to you, girl. How did you do? I'm sure initially you must have faced a lot of anxiety. Tell us, how did you manage that?
Yeah, I'm one of those weird people, Palak, who never waits till I'm ready. I think even when came to writing, for that matter, I was not a trained journalist or even a media student for that matter. A graduate of science, a mother of two, wanting to do a little bit more in life. I think when you fortify your why, anxiety kind of goes down because the excitement of the why kind of takes over. That's how it works. Has worked for me. So when I went in, my first presentation, live presentation to an audience was at the Women's Economic Forum in New Delhi. Speakers from around the world, 2,000 people, 200 countries. And I'm like, what am I doing there? Freelance writer, wordsmith ka card, butterflying with people and sharing my story. But the excitement was, here's my story, listen to it. I'm talking about gratitude, I'm talking about possibilities, and people are loving the stories that I'm sharing because they're coming from the heart. And I think that's when you realize that there's no need to be anxious because the excitement is taking over. That's how it has worked for me. So thank you for
So
asking, Palak.
true. So
Fine
true.
line
And
between anxiety and excitement, no? Fear, anxiety, and excitement. How do you
Yeah.
differentiate? No?
I was a few weeks on this Wise Wednesdays itself. I was hosting children, 7 to 11. Those that was the age bracket, and they had come up with a book.
Oh,
They'd come up with a children's book, and they did illustrations as well as the story. Around seven children, I believe, were on my show. So we had different
wow.
slots, and I'd hosted them one by one. And there was this one little girl who came, and she was a little shy. And I asked her what happened, and she said, "I'm nervous." Uh,
oh,
so I said, isn't it interesting, because when you're feeling nervous and you're feeling excited, you feel the same thing? And suddenly she was very curious. I said, when you're nervous, your heart beats faster. And when you're excited, your heart beats faster. And when you're nervous, this is what happens. And when you're excited, this is what happens. And suddenly she said, I said, are you nervous or are you excited? What would you rather be? And she said, I want to be excited. And then the
Oh,
conversation just flowed. And she was, I think, 7 or 8 years old. So it's
uh,
like a live demonstration of how you calm down a client.
I see. So did your NLP training help you to understand these things and help others?
I guess, yes, that's what I used at the time. I think NLP for me, Palak, has now become like this ingrained by default setting that I use on and off. So I don't really give it a second thought, but definitely it is NLP, right? Because you neuro linguistic programming, what the
yeah.
words you're using is programming, the language is programming the circuits in your mind, and therefrom your behavior.
Cool.
So yes,
Amazing.
absolutely. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
All right. So we've got, okay, Lata's put in a very lovely comment. She says, when it's unknown, it doesn't exist. So why worry? I like that.
Good word. When it's unknown,
Absolutely.
it doesn't exist. So why worry?
That's what
Why
it is.
worry?
I
Lovely.
think that's the
Lovely.
fear is something. It's something which you create in your mind. Factually, probably it might not be there most of the time. So
Exactly. It's like saying the boogeyman will come and get you.
Yeah.
So with this is
Yeah.
talking about
So,
controlling. What's the difference between control and dominating? Controlling and dominating. Thank you for that question, Vidya. Palak, would you like to take this one?
I'm trying to think. Controlling and dominating. You're trying to control, which can never happen. Dominating is when you're overpowering. When you're dominating it, you're comparing. There's a comparison, isn't it? You're dominating the situation of the person is dominating towards the other person, right? There's a comparison. And controlling is you're trying to control things around you, isn't
Hmm.
it? So what does she think? Talk about controlling. What's the difference between controlling and dominating? This is what I'm
dominating can also be a personality, no?
Static is telling me.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Dominating can also be a personality, no, of a person. That's the
Hmm.
personality, right? A leader can be dominating too. It depends
Hmm.
upon from where you're looking at the person dominating, right? Controlling a mother, a humble mother can also be controlling. A mother
Hmm.
who doesn't have a voice, or a lady who doesn't have a voice also will be submissive also, but she'll definitely learn how to control her household, and will know how to manage her household, and will control everything that's going on. Yeah,
Hmm.
her kids also. And kids going to sleep, getting up in the morning. Dominating is a person, I think, that's inbuilt, maybe a personality who goes, this is how it's going to be because I said so. Or maybe has a leadership qualities. No matter what, if that person's in the crowd, his personality comes out, and he looks, and he is a little bit dominating also, a little bit of leadership qualities also there. What do you think?
Hmm.
Am I?
You know, you're looking at it from a very beautiful perspective, but on my show, I like to play the devil's advocate. So, for me, dominating would possibly come from someone who is insecure. it's
Oh,
it's a completely different take. I know, but I
Yeah,
think for somebody to be dominating, there has to be some level of insecurity within themselves, which is why they have to dominate somebody else. I mean, that's just me
interesting.
thinking.
No, no, very interesting point of view. Could be,
Hmm.
could be.
yeah.
And
See, it's all,
we've
I
got
think it
comments.
depends on the reference of how you use it, and what is Lata trying to use it in reference to. Maybe will give us a better understanding.
Okay. Lata says controlling is more damaging, dangerous than dominating. Okay. She also says true 100%. So, which is true 100%? Please tell us. Guys, get those comments going. I think this is a conversation for more than three heads.
Three heads, yeah.
So, two heads are better than one. No, three heads, more than three heads are better than three heads. So, let's hear what the others have to say. Palak, what are your thoughts
About,
about
This control.
controlling and dominating?
you know what? I think I need more, just to express my opinion. I need
Context.
more reference to it. Like, what are we talking? Controlling and dominating are vast words. What are we talking in reference to? Are we
Hmm.
talking about a human being's personality? Are we talking about situations? What are
Hmm.
we? Just be a little more specific. So maybe whatever little knowledge or experience we have, we can probably give our opinions. But
Okay. So Lata's true
Dominating is a sign of
100%.
insecurity.
Yeah. So that's the true 100% that she gave for. So thank you for that clarity. Okay. All right. Moving past, and we just wait for Vidya to put in a little bit, give us a little more context. But with the word insecurity coming in, I wanted to understand from the two of you, when you say you are a masterpiece, sometimes that level of insecurity within us does not allow us to become that masterpiece. How do you then
yeah,
rise above that?
fears and doubts. Yes, yes. Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
should I say Palak, or
Yeah,
you want to talk
yeah.
about it, or should I?
Start and I'll join in whatever.
Okay. Um, when you realize that you are the same human being who had lived during the caveman time, go back to that time. Okay, humans used to live in rocks, around rocks. Yeah, the food was also not cooked. They would just pluck things and eat, right? So that individual, if he, when he sleeps and wakes up first thing in the morning, he's sleeping on a bed created by a human, created by an individual who was one of us. He goes to the bathroom. Everything that he uses, everything that he, what do you say, har ek sahuliyat, everything that we use right now, from cars to having our own breakfast to driving on the roads, each and every, um, what do you call, comfort that is created right now for us is created by human. And once you realize you are one of them, you are one of them who's created all this for the benefit of humans living in this existence, then maybe you'll realize, oh my God, I have nothing to be insecure about because I am one of them who created all this.
Hmm.
And if they had the capacity and possibilities to create all this, maybe I can too create something for myself. Let me come out, let me try and come out of it. And maybe start looking for, I mean, come on, right now we are in the age of internet. We can just start googling and looking for things to make us feel better, start reading things to make us feel better, go through so many, there are so many, like sometimes I just go on YouTube and go through so many talks and discussions. There's so much we can do for ourselves to help us come out of our insecurities. And sometimes, no, Rukia, it'll just take one little word or one little conversation that'll help someone climb the ladder of security and just leave the insecurities behind. What do you think, Rukia?
I do agree with you. Sometimes it just takes that one moment to think and click and realize. Like, I love what Mel Robin does with her 5 second rule. She says, count backwards, five, four, three, two, one. When you have to make a decision, you don't allow your unconscious mind to be taken over by your conscious mind, but you just go with your gut, and you take that one step, take that little one action that you possibly can, so that you have your foot in the door towards the result that you want. So yeah, I'm one of those people, definitely. So I do definitely agree with you. So we've got
And also here, sorry, and also here, just to add, Pooja, isn't insecurity like a doubt? or a fear, it falls under, doesn't it fall in the same family? So since you're born till you die, we will always have insecurities. It's like you say, Pooja, insecurity to hamara साथ ही है. It's like it's also like a contribution to us, because insecure होंगे, then we are going to do something about it. We are going to find out, like you said, more solutions around it. If you're very comfortable, no insecurities, go on walking on a plain road, boring life. But these humps in road come to create opportunities of learning. These insecurities, doubts, and fears are the contributions to us, wherein they give us the opportunities to learn, to look for solutions. Like you said, Pooja, hunt for solutions. That's when learning comes in. That's when you find your new capacities and capabilities. And this will be a journey from the beginning till the end. And you're right when you say that a sentence or any inspiration can come from anywhere, in anything.
But you have to look for it now. You have to hunt for it.
Mm.
You have to start your hunting journey. You have to go out there and look for it.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, but I'm typing in the question for Lata. She said she had missed the question. We've got Preeti who's giving us a thumbs up. We've got K Video Uploader who's tuning in from Chicago today. I don't know the name, but thank you very much for joining us. And we had this lovely comment that had come in from Gia. Where is it? It's right here. Yes. She's talking about controlling and dominating. She says, I don't think there's much of a difference. I think controlling is also trying to assert dominance over a situation. There, another twist in the tale. Love it.
Yes.
Thank you,
Well
Jia.
said.
And Vidya, who had originally asked us the question, explains, adds on. She says, for example, a person budgets expenses and controls finances, while another decides how much a person should spend and dominates the wants and desires of another. So it's that.
This looks like a personality clash or a relationship issue. But I guess I would say that just look at the relationship. It's like a hurdle in your life. No? Just look at that and say how this is a situation which has presented itself. Now we have to look for a situation. It's a hiccup in your relay race. It's a hurdle. So now you have to look at. I mean, if I was in your situation, right, I would look at, okay, what else is possible here? What can I do to make the situation better? And then you seek help, or you find tools how to help yourself in that situation, because it looks like a relationship issue. Communication is key. The more you talk, the more you resolve it. And the two bits.
I love this. And that is Carl watching us. She's a lifelong fan of these wonderful women. Lovely.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Look who's jealous. Hi, Carl. Me too. I love it. I love it when family steps in. Lata says, remind yourself that you are the masterpiece. Your insecurities will fade away. Positive reinforcement.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love it.
It's so true. We have to keep telling ourselves only. This is one of the tools we have to use on ourselves only when we feel low.
Absolutely. So thank you. Thanks a ton, says Vidya. Palak. Thank you so much. Lovely. So on that note, and I like what Lata said about, your insecurities will fade away and you have to remind yourself. So when it comes to the journey that you are on, what are some tools or tricks that you use to keep yourself going? Because, working as one person on a project is relatively simpler, I think, because it's one devil in the mind and one head full of thoughts to work with. But when you put two heads together to come up with a project, how do you keep on track, keep both of yourselves on track and motivated? I love the laughter. Oh no. बोल दो सारे पोल खोल दो.
I'm going to start.
Please.
Pooja, my relationship, we are sisters, but we have this understanding where I'm elder to her, so she's my little baby, my kid sister as well. Sometimes she is like a friend to me, a confidant. Sometimes she's my mother, protective and guiding me. So we keep switching roles. So that helps, because there's no how to explain now, Pooja? it's very easy for us. So for example, if I'm like, she's given me, her raw data comes in, and I'm supposed to read it, understand it, refine it, and then go back to her, and then she'll tell me if that understanding is right or whatever. But sometimes she'll say, अभी और कैसे, ऐसे पूछा तूने कुछ नया नहीं लिखा, she goes, अभी ये पुराना वाला नहीं खत्म हुआ तो मैं नया वाला कैसे लाऊं, क्यों दूं, so it's fun,
Hmm.
and she gives me the nudges. So that's my bit, Pooja.
I love it. Pooja, your thoughts?
I think she's stuck, frozen.
Hmm. Yes,
Pooja,
she
you're
is.
frozen.
But she's frozen with such an elegant smile, isn't she?
Touch wood.
Perfect.
Baby.
Lovely.
What about you? How do you manage till she comes back online? Perhaps you can tell us about yours.
So for me, staying on track because of the number of. Okay, Pooja, if you can hear us, you can exit and then come back. It might help. With Okay, let me try and do that. Oh, she did hear us. Yes. Okay, so with the kind of projects that I tend to do, I like mind mapping a lot.
Ah, yes.
I use mind mapping a lot. So literally, I put my own name in the middle of the paper, and then I create these bubbles. And I do this when I'm coaching as well. So I create these bubbles where I have these responsibilities and roles of my own that I need to work on, and then I work out a plan in terms of the timeline, in terms of what tools do I need, who do I need to connect with, and so that helps me keep myself on track with a lot of things. And I usually people have resolutions that they set you know in January or end of December. I do my mind mapping in November itself.
Okay.
Acha.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
before the holiday season starts, I'm like, let's do this so that I have clarity and I'm moving with focus.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
nice.
see that Pooja is back. But before we even go to her, I'm going to read out just a few more comments that have come in that are really nice. So we've got Uma Kapoor who's watching. She says, "Loving it, girls." Um,
Oh, that's mom.
Wow.
Hi! Thank you for watching us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we've got Abina who says, to give another example, in an office scenario, the manager controls the various aspects of the office, but she need not be dominating. So like Pooja said, dominance is a character and control could be more of a requirement. I like that.
Well
Thank you.
said. Well
Very
said.
well said. Yes. And Carl adds, sounds like a great partnership. The team members adjust to the demands of the environment and the needs of each other. Love it. Yes, that's true. They are best sisters in the world. Absolutely. Hats off to both of you. Touch wood.
Thank you,
And
Subhashna.
and
Dhara.
uh, Dhara's watching with lots of love. So thank
Oh,
you.
Oh,
Dhara.
nice.
That's our niece.
Oh, lovely. And
Karen.
that's Karen Jackson says hi. Thank you for watching
Yeah.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So Pooja, over to you.
Yeah.
How do you keep track of things? How do you work as a team? Because
I'll tell
Palak
you.
has beautifully said you're the one who takes over when she is a little lost. So tell us how
Is
you do it.
is both ways. When I'm lost, she becomes a mother to me. She becomes my boss. She takes over. When she's lost, I do the same thing. See, Rukia, I feel I've always considered myself to be Palak's shadow. Since I was growing up, I was always fascinated by her. She is an amazing personality, and I've
Hello, hello.
always been
What?
in awe of her. So it's not been difficult to write together because I enjoy being with her. I enjoy her company. And I always say, whoever or whatever I am is thanks to her and my parents put together.
God.
So for me, it's not a problem. It's as long as I get a chance to work with her, it's not a problem. Rukia, we both talk so many times in a day, and we get excited with little things, little topic. If we've read something nice or we've heard something nice, we'll immediately call each other, and the conversation will go from from that little topic to a page that has to be written in the book, right? It goes
Absolutely right.
from one
Yeah.
topic to another. So the conversation between us is so interesting. There's no competition here, right? So there's just, things get so interesting that when if I have a topic, she puts like the spices in it and makes it more yummy, and then I'll put some other ingredients in it and make it more yummy. At the end, the dish is wow for us. Forget about others. For us. So the journey of creating a book is so
Oh,
much of fun and so amazing
Hmm.
and so light. Why won't we
Hmm.
enjoy it?
Rukia,
Anyways, not a
Raat
problem.
ko, Rukia, till late in the night, Pooja will come up with something. She'll say, "Oh my God, I thought of something." 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the night. It's like not one day has passed when we both have not spoken to each other, right? So 12 o'clock, a thought will come and say, "Oh my God," and she'll say, "Look, Palak, what did I write?" And then suddenly we're sitting and discussing, turns into a chapter.
Lovely, lovely. And what I'm picking from you is when you say writing a book for both of you has been so much fun and light. I'm looking at it as not just light, as in light, not heavy, but I'm also looking at it as light, as in the brightness of light. Because your
Yes.
book has sunflowers on it, for heaven's sakes.
Yes.
And it's almost like the sunflowers are following the light that you are acquiring as you have those conversations. It's just how I'm looking at it. I don't know. Tell
So
me more
true.
about that.
Sunflowers
Okay.
always, I used to grow these sunflowers in my garden and I'd watch them and they'd actually move towards light, right? And
Yes.
they're so fascinating to look at, right? And I think that's the reason we just are so fond of, it's become our thing. No, sunflowers have
Hmm.
just become our thing. And look how happy they look. They're like, we all are
Yes.
like, there's so much of sun. We want to stay away, put sunblock and, things like that. But look at it, it's in rejoicing, full enjoying
Bloom.
a phase and blooming and letting it all in. And then just, I used to watch it just stand over there and the parrots coming and taking its seeds and allowing it to do whatever it wants, the birds to come and take them, then the insects and the bees all going in and enjoying the sunflower. And it used to just look so, stand there majestically nice and tall. I found it very fascinating, and I go, this sunflower knows how to live no matter what's happening to it. Yeah, the
True,
parrot
true.
was pulling its seeds out. Yeah.
And and you've anchored that so beautifully. Like even when I'm chatting with Palak, she sends me sunflowers, and the book has sunflowers on it. And in fact, earlier this month, I was in Himachal, and at a beautiful campus at Shulini University for a conference, and my little hut that was had sunflowers in the garden. So whenever I've seen pictures or sunflowers as such, I've always seen them bright and blooming because I've seen them in the daytime. I've never really had the opportunity to see them in the evenings, droopy or early morning when they're all shriveled up. But then when I saw it, I went for a morning walk, and as I walked back into my cabin, I saw the sunflowers shriveled because the sun hadn't come out yet.
Ah,
And then when I walked out for my day, they were bright and ready for the day. And I was like, isn't this how we are? When the day hasn't started for us and we're not in the right frame of mind, we're a little shriveled. But then when we open up to receive the day, we're bright and beautiful, like the sunflower. So
beautifully said. Yes.
lovely.
They say the
Thank you.
replicas of your life you can get from nature, and that's one fine example that you've just given, Rukia. कि nature में ही आपको life के images देखने को मिलते हैं. In fact, I want to go back to the question that you had asked, Rukia. You were talking about
Please.
the book having light. You were talking about it being light,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
really, this book has worked. Pooja and I always discuss this. This book has worked as light in our lives because this book was put together, or is conceived the right word, the book was conceived when we were going through the most challenging times of our life with, like I said, health issues of our loved ones. And this was the only ray of sunshine that kept us going every night when people are sleeping, and we both will speak to each other. And because we were used to be in the questions, why do these things happen? Why are there struggles in life? Why human beings have to go through these challenges in life? We had all these questions which any one of us have always had in life, and we used to try and figure out, yeah, why, what is it, for example, a child, and why does a child have to go through all these things in this life? And any human being for that matter. So the chapters which came in this book, we ourselves, when we read through it, you have to constantly read, because it gives you back light
Yes.
into yourself. Because one of the chapters, the very first chapter of this book, tells you that when you look at life is like what? When you look at the heart monitor in a hospital, the the sign of life is the beam going
Ups
up
and
and
downs.
down, right? The minute it is a straight line, means there's no life. That's the nature of existence or life on earth, that you have experiences which are controlled by what's the right word? um,
Stimuli
there
that
is
puts forward.
stimuli. Yes, stimuli. There's a lot of stimuli which happens, and then experiences happen, right? So that is the nature of earth. Now, events, they call, that's what the spiritual world, I think they say, these are events which happen. We as human beings put drama around it, because we are feeling we are feeling people, right? We're feeling beings. So we feel emotions, and then we put a lot of uh, emotions and give it weightage. But actually, that's the nature of life. If not, if that was not the situation, yeah, wouldn't life be very boring? Just one. We always say, why can't we always be happy? Why do we have to go through challenges and grief and up and down? But look at that life. If it's one simple straight line, only joy, एक तो value of joy will go away, because there's nothing to compare it with. Contrast से you
Exactly.
understand the value. Up है तो cold पता चलेगा. Up है तो down का value पता चलता है, right? In, out. Similarly, black and white. Similarly, how will you know if it's just joy all around? You wouldn't know what to compare it with. It would be boring. You would want to say, end this life fast. How long will you be confined in even COVID times? How people were frustrated. It's like, enough of change. I want to get out. So that change is inevitable, and this is what I think earth is all about. That's the nature of existence. A surfer takes a surfboard, he goes out when into the ocean to surf, to enjoy the thrill of that experience. When there are huge waves going up and down, does he go
Yeah.
when the waves are flat? There is no fun, there's no thrill in it. So that's, I guess, that was what we both were discussing when we wrote this first chapter, that maybe that's what the nature of life is, and it excites us. We
Hmm.
go through downs and ups. So
Hmm.
this book is really show, even has different perspectives of life and understanding.
Yep. Absolutely. And I'm just going to
But
quickly go. Huh?
I'm thinking I hope I've not spoken too much. Anyway, carry on.
No,
No,
nothing. Nothing like speaking too
lovely.
much. We've got Dharav says, "Love how you complete each other's sentences."
Ah,
Yes, it is, isn't it?
true.
It's a perfect demonstration of teamwork. Uh, Bina
Oh,
says it was a beautiful assessment of human to Sunflower Rukaya. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Bina.
that was lovely. That was lovely.
Thank you.
that was,
Thank you.
that's lovely.
Guys,
Yes.
guys, guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because the host is kind of hoping that you would continue to be part of conversations with me even beyond this conversation. So thank you.
Yes.
Irene
Yes, you
says,
must subscribe to our. Sorry, can I say something? Yes, you
yes, yes.
must subscribe to our channel, because there are two things which really, Pooja and I were just discussing the other time. Two things which really stand out when I at least think of Rukia. One is her commitment, and the other thing is her
Persistence.
persistence. These two qualities really stand out. Like Rukia, guys, just for all of you, this is, I think recently she's completed 1,400 and something of daily quotes. She goes online every day. She's been doing it since
It's
1,400 and something days.
30,
Now, isn't
30.
that commitment something,
30.
and and persistence, which is a quality of where she is today? also, this is the 99th episode where we've got the honor, and we're so grateful that she's invited us for this. 99 times or 99 weeks, she has consistently been there. These two qualities, I wish, I mean, you're very inspirational, Rukia, honestly. If I could
Very
imbibe these from you,
thank
amazing.
you. Gosh. Okay, okay. Now I'm embarrassed. Thank you so
Ah,
much.
okay, be the sunflower. Be the
Okay,
sun.
be the sun. I shall take it
Yeah,
all in.
You have to
living
receive.
your life.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And even over there, it's the same thing. It's the intention that I've kind of pumped up, and I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, so I just keep doing it. There've been, I've been in India for the last few weeks, and there have been days when I'm like dead drained, and but I still show up with one quote and one conversation. I'm like, no, this is my commitment to me, and so I shall. And before we move
Yeah.
to the closing of this conversation, let me just quickly read out some very, very important comments that have come in. So we've got Raji Kapoor, who says,
Oh, Dad.
yes,
What?
yes, yes,
Love you,
love
Papa.
it. I love you, Papa, too. So Dara says, we all are. I'm
Oh, we
proud of
love you
you
too,
both.
Dad.
No, so
And
sweet.
Thank you.
Gia says, I can attest to their beautiful relationship. Thank you, Gia.
Oh,
I love you.
that's
Uh, yes, Karen says
Karen.
that. Yes, Karen says that's inspiring to be excited and happy for each other and not see each other as competition. Shows you were raised well by your parents. Yes, we definitely are.
Oh,
Yes.
yay.
Rashna says, yes, Pujadi, you are right. You both have true hearts. Yes, true love.
Have true love.
True love.
Oh,
Yes.
that's nice,
Su-
nah? Oh,
Such a
thank you,
beautiful thought.
Rachna.
Gia says, and even when sunflowers wither, they attract parrots. Yes, they do. Lata says, we get the energy from the sun. And Irene says, ma'am, good evening. They don't ask themselves if the problem is there. They always say the problem is someone else. Question, why would someone become controlling? Okay, so this is actually a question. And we've already gone through the other comments earlier. So I'm just going to quickly ask you to look at this question then from Irene. Why do you think people become controlling?
Like you said, Narukia,
Hmm.
insecurity of
Securities.
something or a fear. Well, then
Hmm.
you tend to control. Hi, let me control because you're scared from inside. You want to control the outcomes, isn't it?
Yes. So we've got more comments coming in. Lots of comments coming in. You three are so inspiring. Thank you so much, Dhara. Uh, ah,
Huh?
that's why I call Rooks Rukayat
Consistency.
consistent.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you. So that's for me, I guess.
It is
That's
an
it.
achievement.
Yes.
More
Yes.
power to you, Rukia.
Thank you so
Oh,
That's
much, Palak
amazing.
and Pooja.
amazing number
Um,
90.
yes. And love the talmel of both you sisters.
Oh,
Amazing indeed.
thank you.
Thank you.
Nice, nice
Thank you.
topic. Thank you for sharing your book, Ma'am Palak and Pooja. God bless and more power.
Thank you.
Maybe,
Thank you.
wonderful. Lata says maybe they're controlled in life and therefore people are insecure
Maybe.
or giving
Oh,
back
they
what they
were
have
controlled
received.
and that's why they're controlling, she means. Yeah?
Yes,
Because
a
that's
new
all they know.
perspective.
So it's habit or maybe conditioning.
Conditioning. Yes, I like this.
Yeah. But I
All
have
right.
another question, Rukia.
Yes,
Um,
please.
shouldn't we sometimes, isn't it okay to be controlling sometimes? Sometimes.
Yeah,
Isn't,
it is.
like, for example, you have to have your show now, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
have to control certain aspects. You have to make sure, because sometimes, maybe, like, for example, a director is the one who only knows what his vision is, right?
Correct.
And now he has to somehow try and explain his vision to all the people working under him and working for him.
Hmm.
So isn't it okay to be controlling then? What do you
I
think?
think my thoughts on that is it's okay to be controlling as long as you're not suffocating another person.
So how will you know that you're suffocating the
Yes.
other person? How
I
it's
guess
a person.
I guess by being a little bit more mindful. Sometimes when people are controlling, they just
Yes.
do not realize that they are creating that, claustrophobic feeling for the other person and too much of
Ah,
rigidity. I think when you are mindful, you can be a little more flexible in your ways, and that creates room for others also to be themselves and express and contribute in a conversation or project,
I agree.
no.
which the
So
two of
true.
you have so
That's true.
beautifully conveyed in this conversation itself. When one speaks, the other takes a back seat, and when the other is speaking, the other does. So I really did not know how this would go. The three screens, how it would go, but it so beautifully came together very seamlessly. Yes, we may have weaved over each other occasionally, but that's the whole beauty of it, isn't it? When you create that masterpiece, a stroke here, a stroke there, and sometimes stroke over stroke creates a new color.
Very well put. Very well
Thank
put.
you.
Very
Oh,
And
oh,
Dhara says,
Dara.
"I'm smiling
Sweet.
with
Thank
so much
you.
happiness. Thank you so much." And Dhara, I'm so glad
Oh,
that you're smiling because I'm known as the smile strategist. So if you notice my little badge, I'm called the smile strategist. So I'm
tell us
glad you're
something about
smiling.
it, Rukia. Tell us something about this, your smile strategist, at least for the ones who are present here today.
Okay.
Please.
So the smile strategy was created for the TEDx talk. Like I said, I
Okay.
don't wait to be ready to go on a project. So when I started seeing people around me constantly complaining about life, about the weather, about the in-laws, about the kids, and why they haven't done what they wanted to do in life, I said, I can do it, so can you. And I said, what's that one stage where I could present this idea of ownership and possibility? And the TEDx thing came to my mind, and asked for it, received it, and got stuck with, how do I present? I'm not a trained speaker. So the idea I presented was, you move from feeling stuck to unstuck in life using gratitude and acceptance. I said,
Okay.
your gratitude, I don't need to teach anybody about, because since you're little, you're taught to say thank you. But I say acceptance comes when you smile, wherein S stands for silence the mind,
oh,
M is manage your attention, I is identify the intention. L is let things go. And E is energize the possibilities.
Wow. I
So,
love the
wow.
E. I
thank
love the E one. Energize the
Energize the
possibility.
possibilities.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a
yes,
big one.
thank you. And
Fantastic.
I really didn't do any research over it. So like, people come up with TEDx ideas after lots of structuring and thinking and experiments and all that research that goes into it. I didn't. I just allowed myself to sit with a pen and paper and say, you gave me this opportunity to stand on the TEDx stage, and you give me the message. And it really came to me just like that. And I said, okay, this is what I will do. Now I present it across the world. Now I present it in the corporate space, with parenting, with students and educators, and I teach them how to use a smile to make relationships better, how to be more productive, etc., etc. And each time I present, I learn from it. So it's like ulta ho raha hai. I've got the
Yeah.
message, now I'm learning from the message each time I present it. So it's beautiful, really.
Oh, that's
Thank you for
awesome.
asking, Palak. Thank you.
More power to you.
Thank you.
More
Thank
power.
you. Thank you so much. We're over the hour in this conversation.
Oh my God.
Wow. Time just
Yeah,
flew.
it flew.
Oh,
Yes.
for us.
So,
For
what
us.
would you like to share as closing comments?
Speechless.
I love that. Thank you.
Maybe a sum to everybody ki yeah, we've just got a very short time left on earth. um, all our lives we've lived in insecurities, fears and doubts. Bus, enough. Now let's start looking at life differently and try and take our power back and start having little confidence. Expose yourself to different experiences so you can know, okay, this is what I can, this is what my capacity or capabilities. Because unless you do it and expose yourself to something new, you will never know. So life is there. We've come to this earth to enjoy and experience as much as we can. So go ahead and do it rather than hiding in your shells and fears, and because life is just passing away regardless of what we are going through. So just live, and as much as you can. Yes, you will go through some pitfalls as well. Give yourself time to come out of it, but look for tools and solutions straight away. And I to use what Pooja has, bless her, she's always given us this tool, which is how can it get any better than this, or what is it?
What else
What
is
else is
what
possible
else is
here?
possible? What else is
Really,
possible?
what else is possible here? And just go for it. And so much gratitude to you, Rukia. So much. Thank you so much for everything. This opportunity today. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Very.
Thank you. Thank you, Palak and Pooja, for joining me. And really, it made me think, is life really as we know it?
As we know it. Thank
Beautiful.
you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for that
much.
hour. It's
So much.
so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm just going to be highlighting the comments. Thank you for the love that you're sending us, the gratitude and the smiles. Thank you so much, Jia, Beena, Papa, Vidya, Lata, every one of you for joining us and for sharing your time, because time is not replaceable. Time is something once given is gone, as Pooja beautifully said, that clap, it's gone, that conversation, it's over. But what remains is how you felt when it happened. So thank you once again, everybody. And until episode 100 of Wise
100.
Wednesday, thank you. Lovely. Yes, and in just a few minutes, I will go live for day 1430 of Connecting the
We'll
Thoughts.
watch.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, please, Palak and Pooja and the others. And thank you for joining us. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world, and for watching us on live and on the replay. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Right.